Welcome to another edition of Time with Dr. Mahama. As I said in my last podcast, I am going to look at the condition called post-traumatic stress disorder. It's a mental condition or mental health situation that I want to talk about because I have two cases, personal experience with two cases that I think I want to talk about. But I want to remind my listeners that the human being, like God, is made of three parts. You have your physical body, which is the tent, in which your soul being your emotions and your will and your intellect, and then your spirit, the God part of your body, the spirit. The spirit is part of God and is deposited in you and cannot be touched by what happens with your physical body. Now, mental health is brain health, as I said. Post-traumatic stress disorder was first prominently known when soldiers from the Vietnam War between America and Vietnam returned to America. This condition was described vividly at that time. And it is a situation where a person either experiences or witnesses a traumatic situation. Of course, in war, people kill one another. So the soldiers who were there and killing one another and seeing their friends being killed, when they came back to the United States, most of them suffered from this condition, and it was described and the treatment implemented. In my particular case as a doctor, I've seen two cases of post-traumatic stress disorder. One was a young woman who was sexually molested as a baby, as a child. And that molestation impacted her so much that when she was in her teenage years, she was behaving abnormally, easily angered, emotional. She was traumatized by the molestation, sexual molestation. And it took us a long time to get her to fit into normal life through counseling and parental support. The other case of post-traumatic stress disorder that I know is a young man who was wrongfully incarcerated. Prison life is very, very tough. And the things the young man witnessed there, when he came out of prison, he was a basket case. Very difficult. Even now, as I speak, he goes through programs, rehabilitation programs. So this condition is rampant in Ghana, even though it is not recognized by the general majority of Ghanaians that it's a problem that exists. Now, I mentioned that this condition was first described among American soldiers returning from Vietnam. Let me digress a little bit and give a little bit of history to those of you Ghanaians who do not know. That war in Vietnam caused a lot of deaths, Vietnamese lives, American lives, but it also caused one thing to Ghanaians. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, our first president, was the only one accepted by the Vietnamese as capable of negotiating between them and America. And it was while he was on his way to Vietnam to lay the foundation for a peace settlement between America and Vietnam that his detractors, those who have wanted to see Ghana where we are, and Africa not united, took the opportunity while he was in Hanoi, China, and did the coup. So while the war in Vietnam cost American lives and Vietnamese lives, in Ghana it cost us underdevelopment. Because Dr. Nkrumah's program was one that if we had followed it, Ghana wouldn't be where it is today with all the problems. Stay tuned for subsequent editions of Time with Dr. Mahama. Like and share. Thank you.